Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today I want to talk to you about this guy here. This is the Bauer 10-inch 5-speed drill press. If you watched my shop tour video I did a couple weeks ago, I told you that this little 8-inch central machinery drill press probably wasn't big enough to be the only drill press in the shop. My old shop in the old house, I had this upstairs and I had a bigger Craftsman downstairs. Don't have that option anymore. I only have room for one. This one wasn't big enough, so I picked up the 10-inch. Okay guys, as you can see, it's already assembled. The assembly of this I did film, and I'm going to show it to you now. It's about a 4-minute clip. Unfortunately, my furnace kicked on while I was doing it, something I'm going to have to learn down here, and it botched the audio. So for the next 4 minutes, I'm going to show you the assembly, and I'll voice over the audio, and then we'll come back and we'll put the tool to use. Alright, step one on the assembly is fairly easy. What we want is the pole to be attached to the base. 3 bolts are included, as you can see, and I'm finger threading them in, and then a 1/2-inch wrench will tighten them down. Alright, the next step involves putting a little worm drive into the table assembly, which will allow you to crank the table up and down. And this goes pretty straightforward. Okay guys, this next step is useless. You see I'm trying to hold the metal teeth that go on the pole and then bring the table over the pole and get the gears to line up. The instructions are absolutely horrible on this, and I putzed around with this for about 15 minutes trying to get it to work. As you can see here, it's not working right now. It won't go over, and I just banged my head for a while. The instructions, like I said, were absolutely worthless. You know, this method here is a failure. After about 20 minutes of this game, I finally figured out to take the gear that is attached to the pole, that little rod sticking up, and elevate it above the pole, and then the table mechanism went over and everything slid down. And I want to tell you, my head was pounding at the end of this. These instructions for this step were literally 2 sentences and 1 picture, and it was horrible. But we have a success, and now what I'm doing is tightening down the handle, the crank handle, to move the table up and down. Okay, once the crank was attached, sorry, that was kind of behind the pole, you put this lock collar down, and this kind of wedges the gear between the base at the bottom and where it attaches to the top up here. This will make more sense in a second. Unfortunately, that gear is facing me right now and you don't see it, but it's the gear that the table rides up and down on. And the Allen key, which is provided, just holds this locking cap onto it. And now the table is assembled, and as you can see, I'm turning the crank and the table does go up and down. It's a little loose, it's a little flimsy, but it is working. Okay, thankfully from here things do get much easier. The next step is to put the head unit on the pole, which was not difficult at all. It slides right on, and as you can see, there are 2 Allen keys facing us right now. And I just take, again, the provided Allen key and tighten these 2 bolts down. And, you know, I'm just kind of eyeballing it there to make sure I got it straight. And we tighten them down. I'm trying to do it on the wrong side. Here they are on this side. And there they are. Just tighten those 2 down, and the head is assembled. Okay, from here it gets even easier. The 3 handles need to be assembled. A little bit of a difficulty getting them started. I didn't realize they are splayed out, and I'm trying to screw these straight in. You can see now I'm going on an angle and they go in, and just repeat that for all 3 of them. And there they are with all 3 attached, and I did take a wrench and take the wrench to a little milled area they put on these handles to tighten them down nicely. Last step is to install the chuck. Raise the table up with a 2x4 on there. Just put the chuck onto the taper and lower the chuck down onto the 2x4 with a little pressure, and it'll be pressure fit right in and work fine. Alright everybody, there was the assembly. Wasn't that big of a deal. As you saw, I struggled a little bit trying to hold this bar and get the table over the pillar at the same time. Truth be told, if I had a second set of hands, it probably wouldn't have been a big deal. But I didn't. I made it work. I'm sure you can as well. Now, here's the deal. This is a simple, basic 10-inch 5-speed piece of equipment. I think it's pretty good construction, everything I've looked at so far. I've had no real issues with it other than the one manual issue. What we have for speeds are 630 RPM, 1100 RPM, 1800 RPM, 2450 and 3300 RPM. Right now we are at 630, and I'll be honest, for my use case, you see here, I think you can see here, I got most of the drill bits I will use on this system, and they all, from my speed chart here, are going to be either on the 630 or the 1100. Most of them on 1100. But I'm going to start with a couple of the ones that need the slower speed, the 630. Then I'll bump it up to 1100 just to show you, one, how to change the speed, and two, to just show you that it works. But you know, the 1100, we're talking about like 1/4-inch brad point bits. We know they're going to cut. Alright guys, what I'm going to do is I'm starting with a 3/4-inch brad point bit. I got this at I guess here we call them tag sales. You guys might call them, you know, garage sales, or I know overseas they call them boot sales. But I got this full set of large 3/4 down to 1/4-inch brad point bits for $5. Amazing, you know, yeah, great deal. Sometimes you just find things and get lucky. I'm going to run it through a piece of 2x4 here first, just to see how that goes. I tried to get out of the way. I hope you can see this better. I'm going to roll my sleeves up, and we are at 630 RPM, which is about what this bit needs. Beautiful. Alright guys, that worked very well. Let's pull this bit off. And let's go with something even bigger in the, this is a 1-inch Forstner bit. Alright guys, 1-inch Forstner bit in pine. I'm going to go about halfway through the board. Kind of a use case for a Forstner bit. Again, piece of cake, no problem in pine. Let us try some cherry. Again, I won't go all the way through. I'm going to try to hold this like this. I'm holding this awkwardly because I want you to see as best you can. This isn't normally how I'd be doing this, obviously. And, you know, it is a little bit unsafe the way I'm holding it, but trust me, I'm giving this a very good grip. Okay, very nice, clean, no burning in cherry, which cherry likes to burn. Again, because we're going at the right speed for the bit. Now, if we want to change the speeds, let me turn this so you can see it. Take and loosen this right here, and this doesn't move all that much like this. You can see it's moving a little bit. And then, you know, the easiest way to make it move is just squeeze the two belts together. That pinches it in. And then what I want to do is just bring it up one pulley on each side. So we're going to go up here to the second one, and then up here to the second one. Just that simple. And then we want to stretch it back out and tighten it down. Now we're at 1100. And for 1100, like I said, this is where I'm going to sit most of the time. This is where my set of brad point bits, my normal set, will live. For your information, what I have here is a set from 1/4 inch to 1 inch of the Fish, I think it's FISCH. It's a good quality set of Forstner bits. And I have the Lee Valley Veritas brad point bits from 1/2 inch to 1/8 inch, and the corresponding set that goes from 3 to 10 millimeter. Primarily, that's what I'm going to use on this system. And like I said, almost all of these bits will be at the 1100 speed I just set it to. So let's just grab something like a 6 millimeter bit here. 6 millimeter, pretty much almost the same as 1/4 inch. We'll throw him up in here. Get the sacrificial board down. And in pine, guys, this is going to just... In pine, no problem at all. Let's go to cherry. So as you can see, pine and cherry, 1/4 inch brad point bit, no problem at all. For me, this is all I need. Like I said, my set of bits is the Fish Forstner set and my Veritas brad points. Other than that, I have a few other types of bits here. You know, I do have some spade bits that I use very rarely because I am lucky to have all the way up to 3/4 in brad point. So that's the drill press in a nutshell, guys. There's nothing really spectacular with it. I don't know if I showed you earlier. It does have the laser. I don't know if you can see the laser. Let me bring the camera in. So hopefully you can see that. Lasers are something that cameras don't like, but if you can see this, right now, that brad point bit is actually hitting absolutely dead in the center of the two X lines. My fear is they're going to be adjustable and movable, but right now the laser is very accurate, and you know, everything about it works. Okay guys, that's the review of this drill press. Like I said, 10 inch, 5 speed, very basic machine, does everything I need it to do, and it's small and light enough that I can pick it up and move it around this very small shop. Is it the proper tool for everybody? It's still kind of small. Like I said, my 8 inch was tiny, more crafts and stuff. This is got a much bigger motor. As a matter of fact, this has the same motor that the 12 inch variable speed Bauer drill press has. If you have the room and the money, you might want to jump up to that one for the variable speed. To be honest, it's on sale right now at the Inside Track Club price of $250, $249. So right now, through the end of January, not a bad buy to get the 12 inch. It stands about this tall and it's about this big. It's an even beefier unit. For me, it was just a little too heavy for me to pick up and move around the shop. This one I can put under the bench over here. I might build a little stand and keep it over by the bandsaw. But for me, it's a good drill press. It's got the power I need and the size I need for woodworking. Remember, this is woodworking for me. If you're a metal worker and you've been watching this, you know, there's other things you're going to do with it than what I do with it, and you might use some of those other speeds. For me, it does the job. I'm happy with it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you haven't, please go ahead and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.